So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are, and welcome to another interview of the Shield on a Couch. Today, I'm joined by Carson Pace. He's the lead singer of the band, the Callous Daoboys, who just released an album a few months ago, back in September too. And I have the cover on the back, Celebrity Therapist, and I actually reviewed this album for the channel. And when I saw the invite for you guys for interview, we're like, fuck yeah, I need to interview to ask him about this crazy album. So, Carson, how are you today?
I'm great, man. Thank you for having me. I'm always ready to talk about this crazy album. Yes.
No, yeah, that the first time that I hadn't listened to your band until this year, and I listened to it because the another YouTuber, the Metal Trenches, like he does like
Mhm.
videos of it, and he talked about you guys. I'm like, I'm gonna check it out because if the Metal Trenches says something is cool, he's usually right. So I checked it out, and I'm like, oh, I gotta review this for my channel because like uh it's very frantic, and it's like your guys are filling the void that the Dillinger Escape Plan left when they left and not record music, because now you can take it and roll with it.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree with that. We're heavily influenced by that band. They didn't really come for me until a little bit later, like right before we started. I don't think they really clicked with me until like right before we started this band. But then, of course, they became my favorite band. So, you know, I love that people have that comparison for us, and I love the idea of us carrying on the Dillinger Escape Plan torch, but
Just
we're
make your
definitely
own
trying to,
torch.
yeah, we're definitely trying to have our own torch for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, there's another band I interviewed that was heavy influenced by them as well. But when I was reviewing your album, I heard a lot of like Every Time I Die, Botch, and other influences to the sound of the Callous Daoboys. And uh, something that I listening to the lyrics, I find that there's a lot of humor in your lyrics and tongue in cheek.
For sure. I mean, I think that just the way that all of us talk and the way that I talk specifically, even when I'm trying to get something serious across, I'm usually um, everything's usually a joke to me. Um, I usually have a way of injecting humor into a serious conversation, which people don't always like, but that is kind of my lyrical approach too. Is like, yeah, I'm definitely trying to make you laugh the first time, but the second time, I'd love for you to read more into it and see that maybe I'm not always joking, but yeah, there definitely is a lot of tongue in cheek in there.
Yeah, no, and also the about the other influences. When I was reviewing your album, there's like I can't remember now the song, but it goes from like super hard to almost like Panic at the Disco and Fall Out Boy type of
Sure,
thing. I was like,
sure,
I'm like, what the fuck?
sure. Yeah, no, I could definitely see that. I love those were two of the bands I first loved. My first like concert that I went to that I like begged my dad to take me to was a Panic at the Disco concert. So I definitely love those bands a lot. I didn't see Fall Out Boy until after they had come back from their breakup, but I do really love those two bands, and I love the comparisons to them. So thank you.
Yeah, no, well, and the thing is, like, you on paper, you would think that type of like hectic with that other song wouldn't like mix, but you guys make it work. Like, you go from there's songs that go from hard, then you go to that side, and then you go back again. So it's very unpredictable, and that's something that
Hmm.
I had to listen to those songs to review our album like a few times and make notes because I had to make a lot of notes so I wouldn't like do so say something that was incorrect. But yeah, so celebrity therapist. So is there a concept behind this album? And in the name, because I find it pretty interesting, because in the first song there's like someone talking about like a celebrity going to therapist, and it's very interesting. So what is the concept, if there is one in the album?
Sure, sure. Hang on one second. What you doing back there, buddy? Okay, all right. Sorry, my guitar player. I didn't know if you were gonna continue to make noise or not. But okay, all right. There's definitely a through line concept lyrically. I don't like to give too much away because there isn't like a start to finish story, I guess. I've wanted to do that previously, but I think it's harder to do in music. It's harder to get things across in music, and if I want to tell a story, I'm realizing that the best way to do that is through music videos or movies or you writing essays or something like that. It's a little hard to get that across in music. And also it just makes the music a little more inaccessible. There are bands that are great at doing it. I mean, I think Coheed and Cambria. I don't even really know all the concepts that band has going
I,
on. I loosely know the story, but I have no idea I just like the songs, you know.
Carson, I'm the same. I have no fucking idea what the story is about. There's people like, oh, the story. I'm like, I don't know where this. I like the
Yeah,
songs, but if you tell me
right.
the Armory Story Wars, I have no fucking idea what the
Right. Yeah. Well, I
story's
mean,
about.
and right. Yeah. I mean, and I think they're a great band, but it's just when I think about if I would want to do that for us, the answer is usually no. So I mean, there's definitely a through line with the themes of the record, just with everything that I have in there. I don't want to give too much away because I want everybody to have their own interpretation of it. But on a
Yeah.
few of the songs, it is a story start to finish. I mean, the Elephant Man in the Room, that is a story that is one character start to finish, um, along with Star Baby and along with What is Delicious, Who Swarms. So
Yeah.
those like have a definitive beginning, middle, and end. But the other ones, um, I just kind of revolve around the same themes, and those songs revolve around the same themes as well. But there's no full concept to it. No.
Nice. Yeah, and your music videos are insane as well. I was watching the one for the
Thank you.
Elephant Man in the Room, and I just find it hilarious. Like you're in a church, and it's all frantic, and then they grab. So they're pretty interesting. I saw that one, and What is Delicious, Who Swarms. They're very out there, and I think the Who is Delicious, Who Swarms has part of the cover on the video, like the with the hoods, or is it? I'm trying to
Yeah.
remember.
So that one and Elephant Man both do.
Yeah,
And that a lot of people have thought that that's us on the album cover. It's not. It's the photographer who took the picture, but I really wanted to have the imagery get across and have the artwork connect to the music videos, and I wanted the same imagery in every music video because I thought that was a cool idea. Um, and yeah, I mean, we're going to continue to do that going forward. Is everything's going to kind of tie into itself as far as each album goes.
no, and it looks cool. And so you guys you had a tour in October, and you had a tour in September where you were opening for Rolo Tomassi, which is
Yes, sir.
another like great band that's doing like great
Oh,
innovative things with metal. How did the tour? How was the tour cycle for with Rolo and for yourself?
well, I mean, it was amazing. I mean, so it was the first time we had ever been on tour when something that we had released came out. And it was just so cool to see the response of it. We played the first show with Rolo in Boston, and at midnight that night the album came out. So it was really crazy. And then we played a show on the release day in Philadelphia, and it was just so it was really overwhelming. It's the only real way to describe it. Is it was really really overwhelming of like the response happening and us just being like, all right, well, we have to look at how our album is blowing up online, but also we have to, we still have to load in, we still have to sound check and all that stuff, which was so cool. But I think being on tour with Rolo Tomassi just, I mean, confirmed that we want to do this for as long as they've been doing it and longer. So I mean, it was just such an amazing experience. I've been listening to that band for so long, and that band means so much to me. That it was just awesome. And Cryptodira, we were already really tight with Cryptodira, but like it was just instant bonding. We just had so much fun with everybody on that tour, and I can't say enough good things about those guys. So
Nice.
it was an amazing tour. I think it was our best tour yet, and we're planning to do more stuff with them soon. So I can't wait.
Yeah, no, and I think both you and Rolo Tomassi, like musically, makes sense.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
and this,
oh yeah.
like I don't know the other band. I'll need to check the other band out. But yeah,
You definitely should. Crypto Deer is amazing. They're
I'll
awesome.
need to check them out. I haven't listened to them, but yeah, like when I saw the Billy, I'm like, yeah, that totally makes sense. And both
Oh
albums
yeah.
came out this year, and both are like you can change from the drop of a hat musically.
Oh yeah.
My favorite song of the last album was the track that's called title track. And when I did the review, I asked a question like, I wonder why it's called title track. uh
Sure.
why did
Sure.
you name it title track? And because I'm like, why title track?
Um, it we went through a couple different names where the title of the album was in the name. It was called Exorcism of the Celebrity Therapist for a long time. Um, and we just didn't really know what it would. We didn't really have a title for it. We just knew it was some kind of title track. Um, and I don't know. It was just like this is it. When it came down to what the record is, it was like yes, like this is the title track. Um, and we just thought it would be funny. Like I can't give
Yes,
you another reason, really. We just
no,
thought it would be hilarious to name a song title track.
yeah, because I listened to it and I love that. I'm like, why the fuck did they name it title track? Like,
Sure,
but
sure,
yeah,
yeah, no,
it stands out because you see almost every song has like a huge title, and then you see title track. I'm like, interesting. But
right,
the titles like
yeah,
Beautiful Dude, Missile, like it's really like the titles really catch your eyes. And I also listened to your previous album, Die on Mars, and it's great as well. Especially I love Flip Flops at a Funeral.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just the
I love
title
that title.
of being like a flip flops at a funeral. I'm like, yeah, that would be. I just imagine a picture of the dude at a funeral.
Sure, sure, yeah. From the Big Lebowski.
Yeah, from the Big Lebowski.
Fuck yeah,
Yeah, that's the only dude. Yeah, I'm a dude on a
is
couch,
the
but no,
only dude.
that's the original dude, the dude of the
Of
dudes.
course, the dude of the dudes. That's correct.
Yeah, there's no one that's gonna top him. So yeah, I think it's great. And so you guys just did like a tour in October. That was mainly you guys, right?
It was just us. We had a band called Tracheotomy supporting us on 2 dates, and they were fantastic. I wish they could have done more with us, but it just didn't work out that way. But yeah, so we did 6 shows where we were headlining, and so awesome. It was like it was so cool. Um, we got to play a couple places we hadn't played in a while or had never played. Um, and it was the first tour where we were playing title track. And it was just mind blowing to hear the audience respond back to it. The shows were so great. I can't say enough good things about it. It was very life affirming, I suppose. It was like, oh right, like this is like what I'm supposed to be doing with my life, and this is what we're supposed to be doing as a band. It was really really cool. It was really really cool.
Nice. So when you were writing this album, like, what inspires you when you're writing? Like, what approach do you take?
There's a couple different well, I mean, it's funny. This is a question I can answer very well because we're writing the next album right now.
Oh,
It's
awesome.
like yeah, we were in the middle of a song and we were like, "Oh shit, we got to go get in this interview real quick." Um so
Maybe you can put me into the song.
okay, sure. Um so We go through a couple different processes with this record. It's usually I have like an inspiration for an idea of a song, and that's usually when the title comes to me of like, oh, like what does a song called Beautiful Dude Missile sound like, you know? Um and I kind of have an idea of like, okay, well, I know it's like frantic, and you know, with a title like that, it has to be really crazy and that kind of thing. You know, that's kind of what goes through my head. Um and then with what inspires me, it's like uh the things that inspire me while we're actually writing the music have nothing to do with our genre at all, and sometimes have nothing to do with music at all. um you know, a lot of the art that I consume, you know, comes from either movies or just visual art. I'm obsessed with visual art. I can't make it at all, but I love looking at it. So I mean, it's sort of a weird synesthetic way of looking at things, where it's like I'm looking at this painting or this image or this sculpture that someone made, and I want to come up with what this painting that has no sound. I want to come up with what it sounds like. You know what I mean? Um, and a lot of what inspires me while we're writing is like just like Bjork and Arca and Sigur Rós, like these bands that have nothing to do with us, that we will probably never play with. I hope we play with them, but you know, these bands that sound nothing like us is you know, or that's primarily what I'm listening to when we make this stuff, because I think that if I'm listening to the Dillinger Escape Plan, or if I'm listening to Every Time I
Oh yeah,
Die or The Chariot, it, you know, we run the risk of, you know, copying them. Which, you
of
know,
course.
I'm sure plenty of people are going to say that we copy them anyway, but you know, from my perspective, I'm doing everything I can not to.
No,
So
there's some.
there you
I
go.
see. I hear some influences, but I don't hear like a copy paste. Especially with you guys
Sure,
going on,
sure.
you have like more of a pop sensibility to your songs
Definitely.
that
I think
I
so
don't
too.
think they had. Uh,
Yeah,
so
I agree.
so yeah, looking at
And
paintings, like any artist in particular that you're obsessed with.
the first one that really comes to mind, the first one that I've ever got obsessed with was Jackson Pollock. Which is the colors that he chooses, even before his like even before his drip era, where it just looks like, you know, paint was thrown on the canvas. His color choices are incredible, of just how he mixes things. There's a sculptor from the late 1800s named Henry Church Jr. though, and he's currently who I'm obsessed with. He was a very religious man whose family was like helping slaves get out of the South and into Canada. His family was like very progressive for their time, and they also believed that they could speak with the dead, um, based on their sect of Christianity. And he's who's been inspiring me most recently. I there's a sculpture of his at the Atlanta Art Museum that I'm just absolutely obsessed with. So yeah, those would be the two, I guess, that immediately come to mind. Howard Finster as well. Howard Finster for sure.
Nice. So if someone sees you in a museum just blankly staring at a statue for 20 to 40 minutes, just leave you the fuck alone. You're thinking of a song. Like,
Oh yeah, that's exactly what's happening. I mean, I have uh a monthly pass to the art museum here that like I pay like $5 a month or something like that to you know, just have unlimited visits. And I will go in there with headphones so that nobody talks to me. And I'll go in there alone, and I just stare at shit, man.
yeah,
That's
that's a
exactly
cool
what I
idea.
do. That's
Like
exactly
you
what I
should,
do.
if you guys are ever like on like tour on Barcelona, Spain, you should check out everything that the architecture of Gaudí, like because I'm sure
Okay.
that can inspire a lot of like he wasn't a painter, he was an architect, but there's like this huge church in Barcelona called the Temple of the Sacred Family, and if you check it, it looks like a castle. It looks like freaking castle from a He-Man or something. It has so many things.
Oh my
Uh,
God.
Like I
Okay.
remember being there and just like taking it all in. That could inspire something for sure.
Okay. Well, we'll be in Spain next year, so absolutely.
So
Yeah.
go there. So the next album you can stare at it and be inspired by that. So
Awesome.
you're currently what you just released an album 2 months ago, and you're already like writing a follow up. That's really impressive. So what are you like? What direction are you guys taking on this one?
Um, I mean, gosh, we're only a few songs in. Um, I could tell you the exact number of songs that we're in. Actually, hang on. Let me see how many that we have right now. We have one, two, three. I'd say we're about 3.5 in, realistically. And
Nice.
so far the songs have been really fucking weird, man. Like they're really strange. They're jazzier. They're definitely jazzier. Um, there's one that we're working on right now where like there's no real discernible tempo or anything like that. Like it's just free time and like it's really cool. I think that it's going to be weirder, but also a lot more in the direction of like pop rock, I guess. Um,
Mhm.
it's still really heavy though. Like it's some of the heaviest shit we've ever done, but it's really cool. That's what I can tell everybody. It's
Yeah.
really really cool.
So are you guys trying to release that for next year?
um, I hope I probably not.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be done by then. But 2024, yeah, that's what we're shooting
Yeah,
for. Yeah,
you guys should take your time and
yeah,
with that you just released Celebrity Therapy. So yeah, I think people can listen to this one. So yeah, the artwork for this album is insane. Uh when I was younger, I had some friends and we had like a band that we would goof around, but I wrote a song that maybe you guys could take it and make it better.
okay, send it to me.
Yeah,
Sure.
we wrote a song about I went to Amsterdam in 2005 and it was like 9 in the morning and I was waiting for my friend and this guy comes to me and he offers me cocaine at 9 in the morning and I was like oh no, it's too soon, and he kept like, when do you want the cocaine? And
Sure.
I'm like, let me have some brunch and then I'll have it. So I wrote a song called Cocaine After Brunch.
Okay. Yeah, no, that sounds great. That definitely
That's
sounds like something I would write. Yeah.
Yeah, that would
So,
sound like something that would go
how was
like.
the cocaine? How was it?
I didn't try the cocaine.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, yeah. I just wondering.
I just, I just stick with the weed in
Yeah.
Amsterdam. But no, I'm like, okay, no, that's too hardcore for me.
My
But
yeah, me too, I think. I mean, that's not to say I haven't done it before, but yeah, I mean, I
yeah,
wouldn't mess with that especially in
no,
a country I'm not from. But
no. So
cocaine after brunch sounds brilliant.
so kids have brunch and not cocaine.
Right. Yeah, yeah,
You're
absolutely.
just putting it out there for the kids. No, I don't. This is not for kids when I put on my videos because I curse and it's
Sure.
not it's
Sure.
not kid friendly. So album cover, it's really interesting. Like, what were you trying to convey with this album cover?
Uh, you know, um a lot of the themes of the record involve repeating yourself and sort of just circuity and how people kind of move in circles and go back to bad habits and go back to maybe people they shouldn't be romantically involved with.
Oh my God, we
um,
all fucking done that.
yeah, we've all done it. And I was in a very nihilistic place with that line of thinking. I was very worried that everything that I hated about myself was just going to be repeated over and over, or anything that I hated about, how my parents are or how my grandparents are. It was just, I was in a very vulnerable place of worrying about stuff like that. And I think that what we landed on when we decided on the artwork was we we just really decided on, we wanted to convey like sort of that we wanted to put on the album like, you are stuck in a circle, you are stuck in a bubble, and it's your fault. And
Usually is, yeah.
yeah, and that is what I wanted to get across with the artwork. And Sean did such a great job with it. Sean Mundy, who the artist behind it, he did such a great job with it. And I think it like, you know, whether people like the album or not, I think the artwork is just absolutely stunning.
No, the
I
artwork
love it.
is the first thing I saw the artwork. I'm like, yeah, this is great artwork, and like can be open to interpretation. But yeah, life, like I can totally understand that we keep on making like the same mistakes, like
Yeah,
you said, going back to a ex-girlfriend, doing the
sure,
same things.
sure.
You know,
Yeah,
it's life is a cycle. Sometimes
yeah.
you gotta break free from it. So this album, in a way, is kind of like therapy in music.
Little bit. It is about breaking free from the circle, and it's at the end of it, I think Star Baby is me saying that it's possible, or me believing that it's possible for myself. Not to get too personal, but I was trying to stop drinking alcohol during the making of this record, and I got a few months in, and I relapsed and failed at that. And then I guess last October of 2021, I like officially stopped, and I haven't drank since. So I'm over a year sober from alcohol, and it
That's
is,
great, man.
so it is possible. But the record is somewhat about that, somewhat about, you know, the ex-girlfriend thing, and, you know, all that jazz. So you know, I think Star Baby is my way of saying it's
Yeah.
possible, just
Uh,
not just to other people, but to myself. So
yeah. At
there
least
you go.
it's an ex-girlfriend and not an ex-wife.
True, true. It could be so much worse.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can relate.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, no, the record's great, and when I reviewed it, I'm like I said in my review, like you're not going to hear a lot of things that sound like this year. So it's
Thank
uh
you.
yeah, so I'm sure it's gonna be on end of year list for sure. At least it's gonna
I
be
hope
on mine.
so. Awesome.
It's
Thank you so much, man. Thank you.
yeah,
That means a lot. That really
yeah.
does mean a
So
lot.
I can't wait to hear what you guys come up next with, because it sounds interesting. So if you people who looking at this, if you haven't heard the Callous Daoboys, which it's funny because I know it's an interplay on the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like you're saying that, and you're like, oh, the Callous Cowboys. You need to
Yeah.
listen to this record because there's not a whole lot of things that sound like it, original, with some like great changes in music. And it's a 36-minute record, so it can go by quick.
Yeah. It does
So
go by pretty quick. Yeah.
nice. So what's next for the band right now? Are there any more tours next year, or are you just gonna focus on the new album that you're working
Yes.
on?
I don't know when this comes out, but I'm just gonna assume that I can't talk about it. So we have a tour getting announced in a few weeks. That's going to be a full U.S. tour. We are coming to Europe a lot next year, more than once. So
Nice.
that'll be really cool. We got Arctangent Festival the other day, and a couple more things that I can't talk about just yet. But
No,
it's a
don't.
big year. It's a big year for us, for
It'll
sure.
be a big year in 2023 for the band. So,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
so Carson, before I let you go, I did a video once. The video is about like favorite albums that you would take to a desert island. So it would
Okay.
be interesting with your taste in music. Like, which three albums would you take with you and why?
Three. I gotta nail it down to. I gotta narrow it down to three.
Yes, three.
Fuck. Um. Vespertine by Bjork. Um. Voltari by Sigur Rós, and In Rainbows by Radiohead. I
No,
think I'd be okay with those three. Yeah.
yeah, they're all way
Ugh.
different from what your
Ugh.
band sounds like, but yeah.
I hate that you've only made me pick three. I have so many more that are rushing to my
Oh,
head like right now.
I'll give you two more, so it's five for you. Two
Okay,
more.
okay, two more. A Black Mile to the Surface by Manchester Orchestra. Um, and Speaker of the Dead by Emure. There you go.
Nice. Wow, I haven't heard that name Imure in a long time, but yeah, I remember
I
that.
love that band. I love that band. I think that band's amazing. But there
Yeah,
you go.
I remember they got shit on a lot. I don't know why.
Oh, definitely. Oh, because they
Yeah,
were popular. People didn't like them because
yeah,
they were popular. That's why.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
he was like he got as much shit on like Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit.
Oh
Like,
yeah, yeah. And
but
yeah,
yeah. So Carson, I'll let you go so you can keep on writing the record. So if
thank you.
you can write me into the record. That would be totally cool. Like to
Yeah,
say
yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey, they wrote a line about me in the record.
I'll fit Cocaine After Brunch in there somewhere. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It's a great title, and you know I'll give it to you guys because our basically what my friends and our song sounded like. It sounded like a ripoff of System of a Down, basically.
Oh, perfect. I mean, I love that band to death. That's one of our. I'd say that's one of our biggest
Every
influences for
song
sure.
that we had, it was a ripoff of another band, but we didn't care. We were just doing it for fun, and
Of
I'm a
course.
crappy, yeah. So Carson, it's been great meeting you, and
Great
great
meeting you too, Hector.
success with the new album.
Thank
So
you.
people, the Callous Daoboys, if you haven't checked it out, like check out the Celebrity Therapist, because I assure you it's one of the most unique albums that you would listen to in 2022. So until next time, people, this is Hector, the Shield on a Couch, and I'll see you right here on the couch. Thank you and good